Good evening, guys. Joe with Woodcraft. Well, for a guy who says he's not a reviewer, I seem to be doing a lot of them these days. Um, this, these, I guess, are Trayer Fire Steels. It's very rarely I come across a product that I see, and that is a new item on the market that I think, you know what, I just have to have that. Um, I haven't really used them. I played around with them, so I don't really have an opinion as of yet. But circumstantially, or anyway, um, so it's uh, I like the idea of it. I've used it for a bow drill probably a half a dozen times, maybe a little bit more, in one setting with the same bow drill set. Um, so the notch is proven in my mind. Um, Even heat distribution, but I mean, we'll get to that. Um, a basic rundown of what all it's supposed to be and what all it's supposed to do. It has a rough file on one side, a rasp, um, a coarse wood file on one side, a relatively flat striking surface for flint, which was a main draw for me. I was in the market for a new striker anyway, so it um, sparked my interest for sure, no pun intended. The fact that it came with a notch already built in for a bow drill, um, for a bearing block, um, was another draw for me. The striker aspect and the the divot for the bow drill were the two main draws for me. But all the other aspects with the file, the rasp, or the files, and the rasp, and then they market it as this sharp edge for a hide scraping tool. I've actually never used one, so I'm not one to be able to critique that at all. It is sharp. I mean, it could be sharper, but from what I understand of hide scraping tools, you don't want them, razor sharp anyway. So, the other guys, at least a few other guys that I know that already have these, have actually sharpened these down to a knife-esque edge, to use for whatever. Honestly, well, I don't know what purpose they're putting behind it, but so that is possible. As far as edge retainability, I don't know. You'd have to ask them. But anyway, let's adjust this camera, and we'll put it to work at least under my purposes or my uses, and we'll see what we think. At least initial thoughts, and we'll go from there. All right. Actually, let's get this out of the way so it's not dangling on my face and in the camera. Alright, so I got two. Well, price was right, so I went ahead and got two. As the main draw for me was as a flint striker. I guess we'll start there, probably finish up later with that aspect of this when it's darker, so the camera catches the sparks better. But we got some punkwood here. It's kind of old, so it may be kind of hard to light. I went ahead and grabbed my regular go-to flint striker just as kind of a base test, just to compare it to. And it's not the best striker I've ever used, but it's not bad either. So I can't keep those things. I keep on giving them away, but which is why I bought these. Let's see how this works. It does spark. Seems to be tearing up my flint pretty good. Nothing yet. Well, that was with my... Oh, woo! Okay, well, I take that back. I did make a... The Trayer fire tool did, or Trayer fire steel, excuse me. The fire tool and fire steel are two different things. Did actually catch the punkwood, charred punkwood, to coal. I just didn't see it. So let's do that again. Alright. There we go. Let's get this close to the camera. Alright, so we could start a fire with that. Later on we'll hit char cloth. Alright, here's a piece of poplar. Rained 2 days ago and I was a moron knowing I was going to use this piece. I left it laying on the ground, so one side of it's damp, but anyway, we'll see what we can get. We'll save this. If we manage a coal, we'll use it as tinder. Shall we try that? Alright, good burn in. Whew. Tell you what, it's hard work when you got cracks. Alright guys, see if we can get this done. Ah man, half my bird's nest just fell out. Here we go. Alright guys, it's dark, so you should be able to see the sparks. I know the video is going to be kind of grainy at this point. I'll turn another light on here in a minute so you can see me, so it's not so poor quality when I give you my conclusions. I'll go ahead and spill the beans a little bit now. This is my go-to, or it has been my go-to, fire steel striker. It strikes excellent sparks. I have struck enough sparks off the Trayer fire steel, or fire steel 4 flint, not the Ferro fire steel, to know that it's going to be my go-to from now on. I will go ahead and tell you that. But just to show you, I've kind of sort of lost my edge on that part. There you go. And I would show you char cloth, but honestly guys, I don't use char cloth a lot, and the char cloth I do have, it's so old that inerrant moisture in the air has rendered it basically useless. I even took a lighter to it earlier and it wouldn't take. So anyway, you saw me light charred punkwood with it. Actually you saw it with both of these, so there's that. It actually, that striker you just saw does actually create a little bit better sparks than this. Not appreciably so, but a little bit better. The Trayer tool does require a bit more of a fine, sharp edge off of your flint, but at the same point in time, when you take into account the other uses of this thing, it's just a no-brainer not to use it and carry it. Because, I mean, you look at that. I mean, it's not as good at flint as this, but it will get the job done, no doubt. So, like I said, it's a no-brainer. Let me turn the light on and get the camera adjusted, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright guys, well, you saw with the flint and steel, obviously a dedicated striker like the one I just showed does work a little bit better, but this is more than doable. I mean, it does just fine as a flint and steel striker, even if it's not quite as good. I mean, if the striker I showed just a minute ago just counted as 100%, this is like 95%. So, I mean, what you lose, you gain so much from the rasp, which I know this video review doesn't show. me using it, because like I said at the beginning, you know, I'm going to use this under my normal uses. You know, I don't typically use a rasp. I don't typically use a file. But I could see where there may come a time where I might want to use one. And so I'm not going to do a review and pretend that, yeah, I do this all the time just to show you guys a review. I'm going to, when I review something such as this, I'm going to review it how I use it, or how I plan on using it. And when my uses of it expand, then I'll come back, and I may not edit this review, but I may expound on it in a different video. So I'm not going to fake it. So this is a multi-use tool, and it does great. You saw me make a bow drill fire with it from a very imperfect set. You know, it does have some downsides, which I've alluded to earlier. I don't remember everything I said because this video is taking place over the course of 2 days. Overall, I have created probably a dozen coals and 4 fires with this tool from a bow drill set. Well, the accumulation of, I think, 4 bow drill sets. Only this last one was so imperfect that I had to be so hard on this tool and press so hard and run my bow so long that this thing got so hot that it actually blistered my hand. Now, I've talked to Tammy Trayer, the wife of the guy that forges these, and it's excellent craftsmanship, by the way, so hats off to him. And excuse me, it's a little bit chillier out here than I thought, so I'm getting kind of cold, but you know, out of that dozen coals, only one actually harmed me, and it came to a point in making that coal that I knew that I was doing damage to myself, but I wanted to continue it and run it as if I needed this in the field. And so, you know, I paid the price. You know, I got a blister right there. You know, so what, it heals. But like I said just a minute ago, I'm going to run this how I run it. I'm not a minimalist per se, but I am a purist, so to speak. Typically, I don't cheat with bow drills. I use a wood bearing block. But, you know, this is a good handy piece of kit to have, in my opinion. And from now on, you know, by and large, I will use a wood bearing block in my bow drills. You know, having this as a flint striker, and if I do need a fire and I can't obtain it by any other way than a bow drill, and I need a fire, you know, and this is with me, and I don't have any charred punk wood or, you know, any other way to make a fire, I will be very appreciative of having having this piece of this tool with me to make the bow drill fire that much easier when it really counts. So, you know, I'm not going to carry a piece of leather or a rag or something to cut my hand over to provide insulation against it, and that's why I went ahead and proved that it can be done even if it damages you. So, you know, this gets my full nod of approval, 100%. Very useful tool, very useful tool. In the coming days, you know, I want to try the hide scraper part of this out. But even though I've taken some squirrels this weekend, I've never used a hide scraping tool before, so I'm not going to review it for you. I can't do that. I can't provide an honest review because it would be out of ignorance. So it wouldn't be fair to them, and it wouldn't be fair to you guys. So anyway, Trayer Fire Steel Flint Striker, 100% approved by me. That doesn't mean that it's, you know, should be or would be or could be approved by you. I don't know, but that's my opinion. Tammy asked me for a review about a month ago, and so here it is. Tammy, you guys came up with a great tool here, and I like it. I enjoy using it, and it has a home in my gear. So thank you guys. I appreciate the opportunity, and we'll see you in the next video.